Hey guys, it's Anna
and Anna
from 8-9 AP Chem. So crazy it's the end of the year already and we're doing our final projects. It's been such a great year. But anyway, let's get started.
So before we can start, there are some things we have got to cover because this is chemistry and everything. There are actually a lot of topics in chemistry that are covered in tie-dye, but the four main ones that we are going to focus on today are the chemical composition of the solutions used, covalent bonding, and pH. Some of these we covered in class, but I'm sure we could all use a review.
So first, we're going to talk about the active ingredients of this reaction and how they will react with the tie-dye. First up, we have urea. A little background on urea. Urea is a waste product of many living organisms. In simpler terms, urea is basically dehydrated urine, so it involves some biology too. Don't worry, Miss Lula, we're still Chem for life. Because ammonia is toxic to cells, the human body must get rid of it. Land creatures cannot deposit this waste directly into the water, so the liver converts the ammonia to urea, which is non-toxic, which can then be excreted after it is transferred to the kidneys through blood. Urea is also used in fertilizers because it has a high nitrogen content. In our case, urea is used in tie-dyeing because it has the ability to weakly bond to large organic compounds, which prevent large molecules from becoming cohesive. These weak bonds allow the colored dyes to run together but still be separated as two different distinct colors. Urea also makes it possible for more dye to be dissolved in a given volume, making the colors appear more vibrant. It is also hydrophilic and attracts water molecules in order to keep the t-shirt fabric damp enough for the reaction to occur to its fullest capacity. Sodium carbonate, also known as soda ash, is the second active ingredient in this, with a chemical formula of Na2CO3. Sodium carbonate is more basic than sodium bicarbonate, but its purpose is simply to increase the pH of the dyes. When the pH of the dyes is increased, it strengthens the covalent bonds between the tie-dye solution and the t-shirt fabric, which makes the colors appear even more vibrant than they appear due to the urea.
To understand how tie-dyeing works, let's talk about some of the key concepts that come up with the science of tie-dye, which are covalent bonds and pH. pH is a measure of the hydrogen ions H+ concentration in a solution. pH is usually used when discussing how acidic or basic a solution is. A neutral solution is at least at 7 pH, while acidic solutions are always less than 7 and basic are above 7. Covalent bonds are formed between nonmetals. They involve the sharing of electrons. Back in the olden days, tie-dye was less effective because people used homemade dyes that didn't really create bonding. Currently, people use reactive dyes that actually create real bonding between the shirts and the dye. The reactive dyes that are used are attached to the cellulose fibers in the clothing using covalent bonds, so the dye molecules would actually become part of the clothing. The molecules hold a chromophore, which is an atom or group whose presence is responsible for the color of a compound. Covalent bonds become stronger when pH level of the clothing is raised. A solution with a higher pH has a higher concentration of hydrogen ions. In a given volume, an increased concentration of hydrogen ions signifies an increase in the number of moles of hydrogen ions. As we covered extensively in our acid and bases unit, the pH of a substance is equal to the negative logarithm of a concentration of hydrogen ions. This is why people pre-soak the clothes they want to tie-dye in sodium carbonate. The sodium carbonate soaks up the protons from the hydrochloric acid in the dye and raises the pH level to about 10.5, allowing the dyes to work at room temperature.
Now, onto the demo. Here's the magic of tie-dye at its finest.
This is one small step for woman, one giant leap for womankind.
I'd rather be alone tonight. You could say I love you through the phone tonight. Really don't wanna be in your arms tonight. I just use my covers to stay warm tonight. Think I'm better off here all alone tonight. Ain't no checking on when I get home tonight. Just making sure I'm good on my own tonight. Even though there isn't nothing wrong tonight. Yeah, I'm just saying, baby, I can really miss you if I'm with you. And when I miss you, it'll change the way I kiss you. Baby, you know time apart is beneficial. It's like I'm the universe and you'll be NASA. Get up, I'ma need space. I'ma need space. I'ma need you to I'm a star space. I'ma need space. I'ma need space. I'ma need space. Get up, I'ma need space. I'ma need space. I'ma need you to I'm a star space. I'ma need space. I'ma need space. I'ma need space. All night. Usually I would love it if you stayed the night. I just think I'm on another page tonight. It ain't nothing wrong with saying night. miss you isn't with you. When I miss you, it'll change the way I kiss you. Baby, you know time apart is beneficial. It's like I'm the universe and you'll be N-A-S-A. Get up, world, I'ma need space. I'ma need space, I'ma need you to love my star space. I'ma need space, I'ma need space, I'ma need space. Get up, world, I'ma need space. I'ma need space, I'ma need you to love my star space. I'ma need space, I'ma need space, I'ma need space. You don't wanna leave me, but I'm tryna self-discover. Keep me in your orbit and you know you'll drag me under. You don't wanna leave me, but I'm tryna self-discover. You don't wanna leave me, but I'm tryna self-discover. Keep me in your orbit and you know you'll drag me under. Keep me in your orbit and you know you'll drag me under. Alone tonight. You could say I love you through the phone tonight.
I've been staring at the edge of the water long as I can remember, never really knowing why. I wish I could be the perfect daughter, but I come back to the water, no matter how hard I try. Every turn I take, every trail I track, every path I make, every road leads back to the place I know where I cannot go, where I long to be. See the line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me. No one knows how far it goes. If the wind in my sail on the sea stays behind me, one day I'll know. If I go, there's just no telling how far I'll go. Everybody on this island seems so happy on this island. Everything is right.
Okay, so you want to make sure that you have reactive dyes, water, urea, sodium carbonate, at least 2 buckets, newspapers, gloves, rubber bands, plastic bags, either Ziploc or trash, and some dish soap. First, we calculated the amount of urea and sodium carbonate we would need to use. We added the solids to separate buckets with 1 liter of water for the urea and 2 liters of water for the sodium carbonate. We then started to create the design we wanted for the shirt. In our case, we made a spiral design. After we were done rubber banding the shirts, we soaked them in the sodium carbonate solution for about 3 to 5 minutes. We then followed this by putting the shirts in the urea solution for about 2 to 3 minutes. After that, we squeezed the shirts out and proceeded to add the dye to the shirts. Once that was complete, you have to put the shirts into Ziploc bags for 4 to 24 hours depending on the colors that you used. After they are done reacting, you must rinse them with hot water until the water runs clean. Finally, you put them into the washing machine with about 2 to 3 tablespoons of Joy or Dawn dish soap, and then let them and then after that you put them into the dryer on the hottest setting, and then after that you can enjoy your shirt.